Saludos, way. Stand by.
Z-Phone could display all the data on. There was no question the last bit of chocolate frosting from my teeth that Skippy called it. Hey, Joe. Hey, Skippy. I mumbled through a mouthful of toothpaste. What's up? Oh, nothing much. Oh, shit. I spit out the toothpaste all over the tiny mirror. Did that shit turn around? Damn it. I was totally out of ideas for bluffing, and all we had were bluffs. Through the micro wormhole, Skippy had only been able to fake the emergence of a guardian for 80 seconds before the strain caused the micro wormhole to collapse. Fortunately, by that time, the Maxolts were running for their lives, and we didn't need to sustain the illusion. But I had feared all along that those super advanced kiddies would closely examine their data and discover they had been tricked by a fancy hologram. No, they have not turned around. The opposite. They increased the acceleration 35 seconds ago. Subjective time. He meant that 35 seconds ago, we received speed-of-light sensor data showing the Maxolts had increased acceleration. With the Maxolt ship now 9 light minutes away from us, the actual event had happened that long ago. It looks like they are pushing their engines to the max and detecting signs that their engines are becoming unstable. That's too bad. It would be just terrible if their ship, exploded. That might be the best thing that could happen, Joe, because of the other thing that ship did at the same time it increased acceleration. It began broadcasting a message containing sensor data of this ship. Okay, yeah. So, no one will recognize this Frankenstein monster you slapped together. The message also contains this. The bathroom mirror was not actually a mirror. It was a display screen. Through the splatter toothpaste, I saw the image. Oh, shit. This is not good. Hans Chotek executed the rarely attempted difficult verbal combination of a plainly obvious and woefully understated promise. No, sir, I agree. With the tap of my phone, I ran the video on the conference room display screen again. Only part of the video, because it was nearly 8 hours long, and we didn't need to watch all of it. What I showed was a compilation from the compressed Maxwell spectrum. The first image was my own stupid face speaking into my Z-phone on gingerbread. From the background, I could tell the video was from sometime when we were at base camp. The conversation I vaguely recollected. I was talking with a recon pilot, which may have been the second or third day after we landed. The content of the conversation did not matter. Two things did matter in the video. First, the fact that my face was visible, so anyone who saw the video could determine the species responsible for the transmission. Second, in the background, people were walking up and down the back ramp of a Theranin Condor dropship. Anyone zooming into the image could clearly tell it was a Theranin spacecraft, and they could identify the species that was clearly operating Theranin technology. So, Theranin technology. Did not practice normal communication security on gingerbread, I offered a lame explanation. Because of the BuzzFeed, I understand the vibe, though. The Maxolts are broadcasting this message into clear. No encryption? Yes, kicking it. They want everyone in the area to see and understand the message, so they included standard tags for interpreting the audio and video. They do not recognize your species or understand human languages, but anyone in the galaxy outside this system will know humans originated the video. How are the Maxolts able to decrypt our transmission? Shortjack demanded of Skippy. And because you have assured us that none of our transmissions could be successfully intercepted because of your advanced encryption method. To my surprise, Skippy did not give a strong reply. Normally, all of our transmissions go through me, and I use encryption so sophisticated that even the Ringaloo would think our transmissions are random noise. However, while we were on gingerbread, I was not able to access my full capabilities, so we had to rely on the Theranin encryption that is native to the dropship. Skippy did not add that we had covered that subject in several briefings before we left the Flying Dutchman to land on gingerbread. So it just had to remember to find a way forward with his phone. Joe said without apology. A quick flash of annoyance indicating he did remember being given that info. What can you do about it? If this message gets out to the galaxy, he didn't need to finish the thought. Maybe certainly the Guardians are still blocking all transmissions from the cockpit. No one outside will ever receive this message. I turned the video off as it was displaying Kotek himself speaking with Smite. The assault ship had apparently picked up many of the transmissions we made from the surface of Gingerbread, plus ship-to-ship traffic while we flew drop ships to that point. Any of it was damaging. Any of it would be disastrous if it got beyond the Gingerbread system. The secret of humans flying around in a stolen Tyrannan ship would be out. Worse, species across the galaxy would learn that humans had survived landing on Gingerbread while all other species had failed. Maybe worse, other species would think that somehow, incredibly, lonely humans could control Elder Guardians. Earth would soon suffer the consequences. If that is true, Joseph rubbed his chin thoughtfully. Then why are the Maxolts broadcasting this message all over the system? I expect the Maxolts to cover extra, I insist. If we use the Guardians to destroy their ship, they're hoping some other dormant ship in the system will pick up the signal and later get away, you see? There are other dormant ships in this system? Josep's eyebrows almost bent his head. Could be, Skippy admitted. We don't know. It is unlikely, but it was unlikely any ship survived, and we know at least one ship did. Plus, we recovered enough bits and pieces to cobble together a functional starship. It is possible someone else out here could do that. The point is, the Maxolts are taking precautions. Their goal, of course, is to reach the edge of the damping field, jump away, and tell their own people what they found here. Chotek let out a long breath. Fellow Bishop, remind me never to offer congratulations to you. I may have stepped up by celebrating too early. In that case, we will never celebrate anything. Out here, every time we think we've accomplished one mission, the galaxy slaps us in the face. Mentally offering a physical salute to the galaxy. Very well, Colonel, Chotek concluded. We need a way to destroy that Maxolt ship before it reaches the edge of the dumping field. You have a plan to do that? We are reviewing our options, I replied. And Hans Chotek knew what that really meant. It meant that I had absolutely not one single freaking clue how to accomplish our latest impossible mission. It's the Skippy.
We got the goods.
Chotek automatically looked at the speaker in the ceiling, and Skippy had chosen not to distract us with his avatar. How long until the enemy ship reaches the edge of the damping field? The damping field does not have a sharply defined edge, Skippy stated. The field strength drops off as the cube of the distance from the field generates. How soon the Maxolts can jump depends on the capability of their jump run, which has been dormant for a very long time. If I was that ship's commander, I would not attempt to jump until I was very confident my drive could handle the strain. But you want a precise answer, so I'll give you my best guess. Assuming they cannot maintain their present rate of acceleration for long, expect they will not be able to jump for 20 days, most likely longer. The damping field extends significantly beyond the orbit of the farthest planet. 20 days. Chotek shook his head, marveling at the incredible distances involved in space combat. Is there any possibility we could jump before they can? No. Well, extremely unlikely, if you try. Their jump drive is Maxolt's technology that is presumably designed to function after being dormant for an extended period. Our jump drive is made from odds and ends I found in the trash bin. We will have to be very careful about jumping inside even a very weak damping field. Also, the enemy ship is moving much faster. They will reach jump distance long before we do. We have to destroy a ship that we can't even catch, using the limited weapons aboard our junkyard ship. Colonel Bishop, I hope you are soon able to complete review of these, he called. Options, you mentioned. Yeah. Done. I stumbled. Chapter 27. After Chotek left the conference room, I was left to kick around ideas with team staff. It was a thoroughly unproductive conversation. There is no way we can catch that ship, I asked Kitty, fearing I knew the answer. In this, flat together bucket of gold. You are kidding. Kitty stopped. Joe, I am amazed every minute goes by that this ship doesn't explode or break into 1,000 pieces. Even when it was fresh out of the shipyard, the Tyrannan Star Carrier is not capable of matching the acceleration of a Maxolt ship. Okay, yeah, I knew that. My question was, what magical Skippy thing can you do? Like what? Like, I don't know. I tried to think of anything Skippy had done in the past that might be relevant to our current problem. Flattening space-time? No, that wouldn't work here. Or would it? What about your trick of flattening space-time? Like you did when we jumped away from that Tyrannum destroyer squadron near the star you tore a hole in. I can flatten space-time to a limited extent. Why would that help us now? Because flattening space-time would allow us to cancel the effects of the damping fields so we could jump ahead of the Maxalts and hit them. No, it's chuckle. Flattening local space-time would not cancel the effect of a damping field. Joe, damping fields work by preventing formation of a stable wormhole in multiple adjacent spaces. Making a minor tweak here would be useful. Hopefully it's another more practical idea. I stalled for time because I did not have more practical ideas, or any idea at all. Hey, how about this? Now that your full awesomeness is back, can you send a signal to the Guardians through another dimension? Tell them to turn off the damping field near us? If you replied in a voice that implied he could not believe I had asked such a stupid question. The damping field is a grid covering the entire star system. It is either on or off. If the field is off, then that Maxwell ship can jump away and we will never think. It's working. Deactivating the field would cause the damping effect to degrade from the outer edge first. Since the ship we are pursuing is closer to the edge than we are, it would be able to jump significantly before we would. Scratch that idea, said hastily. You can't allow the enemy to jump away at all. Well, the field is created by generator stations which surround this system like a bubble. I suppose, theoretically, that if selected generator stations were disabled, the field would be weakened in a local area. That could allow us to jump while preventing the enemy from jumping. Except the enemy would eventually detect the change in damping field coverage and change course, so they enter one of the weakened areas before us. And if we hit them hard enough first, I'm excited by that idea. Hey, could the damping field be weakened behind us, closer to the star? If we could do that, the enemy would have farther to travel to get to a place they could jump from. As I am not familiar with this damping field system, any attempt to weaken it in a localized area would be a matter of trial and error, till I gathered enough data to make accurate predictions. That's okay, Skipper, I understand. You can start by, taking one generator offline. Do that, see what it does to the damping field, then, whoa, there, Joe. Y'all can do it. Skipper, I know we don't have a lot of time, and the damping field effect probably acts at light speed, right? So after knocking out one generator, it would take hours for the effect to reach us. I'm willing to take that risk. Actually, that gives us time to plan how to attack. Joe! Jeez, Louise, will you calm down before you blow a circuit? I did tell you all this is theoretical. Oh, yeah, you did. I thought you were just using an expression. No, I was not. Theoretically, a damping field can be weakened in a localized area. However, in this case, discussing how to alter the damping field is a purely academic exercise. I can't do it, Joe. If I attempted to order damping field generators taken offline, the Guardians would never accept that instruction from me. Listen, I haven't bothered your overworked monkey brain with the details, but the Guardians have become increasingly agitated as the Dutchman, and now an enemy ship, have begun maneuvering in this system. As soon as the enemy set course for the edge of the damping field, the Guardians wanted to obliterate it. Oh, hell, Skippy. I threw my hands up in disgust. Let them do it. That would save us the trouble of trying to kill that ship. Gosh. Joe, my tiny little brain never considered a brilliant idea like that. His voice dripped with sarcasm. Duh. I did think of that, you moron. There is only one problem with that idea. I can't actually give orders to the Guardians. They have very strict instructions from their original programmers, and I can't alter those instructions. All I have been able to do is identify us as also being of Elder origin. Once the Guardians accepted me as a fellow Elder construct, they temporarily set aside their instructions in order to avoid causing harm to an authorized Elder activity in this system. Unfortunately, I have no way to tell the Guardians that the Flying Dutchman is authorized and the Maxalt ship is not. It's all or nothing then. If you release the Guardians, they will destroy the Maxwell ship, but they will destroy us also? Correct, Joe. Skippy stated sadly. Hence why I did not mention that possible course of action. You should have, Skippy. We need to know all our options. Sudden, violent death is not what I call an option, Joe. It is, Skippy. I looked across the table and caught Chang's eye. You've been following this fruitless conversation? Yes, sir. He looked grim. We need to bring this option to Mr. Chotek. Option? What option? Skippy sputtered. Skippy, we must prevent the Maxotes from taking our secret to the galaxy outside this system. If the only way to accomplish that mission is to sacrifice this ship and crew, then that's what we do. I don't like it either, but you do understand, right? Yes, he said in a low, disgusted voice. But it's the last time I tell you about a possible course of action that leads to certain death for us. Right. I just finished gluing together this ugly shitbox of a starship, and now you're going to let someone blow it up? That is not my first choice, Skippy. We may have to do it unless you can think of a better idea. If I had a better idea, I would have told you already. He left the duh unspoken, but we all knew what he meant. I looked at Chang. I'll brief Chotek when I meet with him today at 1600. Wait, Joe, Skippy pleaded. Before you do something fatal to us, promise me something. What? That you will do your best to dream up an incredibly stupid, impractical, idiotic, monkey brain idea to pull our asses out of this time. So you hate it when a monkey thinks up an idea when you shouldn't. I do this. It is humiliating beyond belief. However, in this case, I will gladly embrace utter humiliation with a mean piece of option. Utter humiliation, huh? I winked to Chang, who's with me. If we monkeys think of a way out of this, will you stop singing shelter? No way, Jose! The truth runs my musical style. It would be a crime to deprive them of my awesome talent. Yeah, that was my thought too. I held up my hands to Major Sims across the CIC and silently mouthed, "Try." The French team was in charge of the galley the next day, which is why we were served a small salad with our stranded eggs for breakfast. As my ship on the base was up the middle of the day, I missed lunch, settling for a sandwich. Lunch was probably delicious, but with our failing chase of the Maxwell ship, the mood of all the Dutchmen was funereal, and I didn't have much taste for food. To cheer people up, we had a special meal that night. The main selection was lobster and filet mignon. It was lazy man's lobster, out of the shell, sliced up, and then reassembled in a claw and tail shape. Butter sauce on one side and a sort of blueberry compote thing on the other. The blueberry stuff had flowed over and stained part of the lobster blue. "Blue lobster?" Sims whispered to me as she picked up her dinner. "I think it's mercantile," I whispered back. And she laughed so hard she almost dropped the tray on the floor. Getting Sims to laugh cheered me up more than the special dinner did, and I was able to appreciate the French team's efforts. For dessert, we had several options. I chose a small cannoli. Adams also had a cannoli and sat across the table from me. Eating a cannoli is kind of like eating an Oreo. There's so many ways to do it. I simply crunched into my cannoli from one end. Adams used a spoon to dig out the filling, then stuck a straw in one end and sucked on it to get more of the filling out. I stared at her. "What?" she asked defensively. "I like the inside part best." "Are you one of these people who takes an Oreo apart, eats the cream filling, then sticks the two cookies together?" I asked with a grin. She pursed her lips. "I never liked Oreos. Give me a chocolate chip cookie any day." Maybe I made her uncomfortable about her eating habits because she set the empty cannoli on her plate. She tapped the empty pastry tube with the straw, then picked it up and held it to one eye, looking at me like it was a telescope. "Now I can eat the shell, and it's crunchy without being all mushy in the middle." "Yeah," because it's hollow, right? The empty cannoli was a hollow tube, a round hole on each end. I dropped my half of the cannoli on my plate to get the end of my fork, lifting it up and onto the floor. "Sir?" I realized Adams had been talking to me. "You all right, Colonel?" "Huh?" "Yeah, I stood up abruptly, reaching out for the remaining half of the cannoli and picking up a napkin instead. A fact I didn't catch on to until I was out the door into the corridor, and I wondered why I was carrying a napkin. Embarrassed, I tucked it into a pocket, then placed it on the desk when I got to my office. Hey, Skippy. Okay, give me a second, Joe. Damn, this is funny. What? I just binge watched the TV show Frasier, Joe. Just now? In like 1 second? Uh-huh. Yeah. I stretched it out because I wanted to savor it. Why? You and I have different ideas of what binging means. Anyway, you liked it? Yes, I did. I binge watched Cheers last night, and Frasier is a spin-off, so I gave it a try. That Frasier is funny. He is such a snobby, arrogant, pompous ass, and he thinks he is so smart. I love seeing him be humiliated. An arrogant, pompous ass who gets humiliated by people he thinks are not as smart as him. You, don't think that reminds you of someone? That I can think of, why? Skippy was happily clueless. For no reason. I rolled my eyes so hard I almost sprained something. I tell you what, though. Frasier considers himself to be such an expert connoisseur of high culture, but he thinks the carrion version of the opera Turandot is definitive, while clearly anyone with half a brain can see that. I will take your word about that, Skippy. I'm just saying. I hear you. Joe, I heard you in the galley. Smurf and Joe? That was funny, he chuckled. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I have a question. Oh boy. Is this about the crazy idea you just thought up? How did you know that? Sometimes I was convinced he could read my mind. I did not have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure that out. You left half a cannoli on your plate and you walked away in the middle of a conversation with Sergeant Adams. Also, you've got that distracted moon pie look on your stupid face. I do not look like a moon pie, Skippy. I have video. Let's change the subject, I said quickly. If he had video of me with a stupid moon pie look on my face, I didn't want to know what other videos he had stored in his evil memory. I have not one, but multiple ideas, and I'll tell them to you in order of increasing craziness, okay? If you think these ideas are crazy, I can only imagine how stupid they must be. Fine. I will listen and shoot down your ideas one by one. Deal, I said quickly before he could change his mind. We need to stop that Maxalt ship. We can't shoot at it from here because our maser beam would dissipate over that distance, and the Maxalts would have moved out of the way by the time the maser bolt got there. It's still weird to think of a maser bolt beam as a thing, like a long, thin spear. Our main cannons created a maser beam that was very roughly a quarter-mile in length, because that is how fast light travels between when the maser exciters started pulsing until they blinked off to recharge for the next shot. So, when we fired, our main cannon fired a beam a quarter-mile long and about 50 millimeters in diameter. That bolt of coherent, tightly packed high-energy photons flew through space at the speed of light, which was incredibly slow for space combat. The bolt had no guidance system and could not be steered, and by the time it reached its original target point in space, the enemy ship had almost certainly moved out of the way. A battle group with multiple heavy ships had enough maser cannons that a target area could be saturated. But even then, most of the time, an entire battle group completely missed the target at long range, because space is incomprehensibly vast, and target ships have plenty of room to maneuver. Correction. It would be a complete waste of time and energy for us to shoot at the Maxalts from this distance. Maxalts have much better weapons and sensors. Even they haven't bothered to shoot at us. I thought back to my last shift on the bridge. Skippy had programmed random evasive patterns into the navigation system to avoid providing the Maxalts with a predictable target. All our pilots needed to do was engage various options in the autopilot. You are, sure of that, right? They haven't shot at us? Joe, considering how banged up our sensors are, if the Maxalts fired a maser beam at us and missed by more than 2,000 kilometers, there is no way we would ever know a bolt flew right by us. Skippy had explained that passing maser bolts could be detected by the backscatter of the beam impacting stray hydrogen atoms of the solar wind. We have not detected any maser or other directed energy fire in. I cannot guarantee the Maxalts have not fired a volley of sophisticated hypervelocity missile at us. Their technology is so far beyond the Flying Dutchman that we might not detect a cloud of missiles posting at us until it was too late. When they got closer, They will fire their engines up again and race things faster than our point defense systems could probably react. You are. It was good news for those there, Skippy. I think so. Someone I was being referred to. I report the facts, Joe. You decide whether to be depressed about it or not. Yeah, sorry about that. My awesomeness has improved our field beyond the capability of the Piranha. But even Maxwell's missiles may have difficulty getting a target lock on the flying Dutchman if they are flying toward us at high speed. To missing us, they would need to brake to zero relative velocity, then accelerate to match us, and search with active sensors to pinpoint our location. That for sure has done. Therefore, I conclude the Maxwells have not bothered to launch missiles. They may not have any more, but it may be saving them for a greater threat. Most likely they started to look at this state of together people.